Every business has its protectors, and for us, that is Cath and Ailsa. They are the ones that keep everything running and the Gillies Mackay spirit alive. Here's Cath and Ailsa's story. Let's talk about Cath.
Let's talk about Cath.
The ledge.
So this is a big responsibility.
Yeah.
Because we ken that Cath doesn't like getting talked about.
Yeah.
She doesn't like doing the talking and she doesn't like getting talked about.
Yeah.
So this podcast has to be absolutely perfect.
Extra special.
For Cath. So I think the best way to start then really is just take you right back to the start. Yeah. And I'm not going to spend too much time on who else was involved because she, who shall not be named, let's call her Palison for now, was partly the reason as to why Cath is here today. So Cath's been with us for over 10 years now, and that's a big deal for both me and Cath, I think, as well, just in terms of our own journey together. But she originally came in as maternity cover, and it was a case of, by the time we'd got to the end of the contract for Cath being here, I couldn't see the possibility of her going. She'd become completely invaluable, like the value that she'd given to the company and the way in which she worked, because I just became so relied upon it. And ever since then, that's just like the nature of what she actually does day in, day out. It has remained the same, virtually the same, as the years have gone on. I mean, there's been pinnacle moments where we've taken a shift from paper to digital, and Cath's been there every step of the way, and sort of, in your words, it lent into that process. I think that's quite evident in terms of who Cath is. She's a very forward-thinking person when it comes to technology, for example. People of her generation might not necessarily feel the same way, but Cath certainly does. And she's always had that inquisitive nature about her in terms of technology. She's always been interested, and I know that she enjoys like sci-fi and things like that too. So it's just like it plays into her imagination, and she loves the sort of the automation of things and how clever they can become. She enjoys that part of her role now. So yeah, over the years, like, it was a very different company than what it is today in terms of where Cath and I started, and our journey together has been fraught with many fucking challenges along the way, and every time we're faced with whatever has been thrown at us, and this comes, from a sort of like light in business in general, like if you are a seasonal company, or if you're a small business starting out, or you're finding it like tough in terms of like how to make it successfully enough to earn enough money to pay for everybody's wages, to make the business profitable, and do it with your moral integrity intact. These things, are hard on a company. So Cath's seen a lot of that in terms of us as a seasonal business as well, struggling in times where it's tough economically. And then physically when COVID came round as well, but more so just in the day in and in the day out of running business and what that does to the people who own it. So she's party to that. She sees it all. She's our company secretary. She is our right and wrong in Gillies and Mackay. There's no middle ground with Cath. It's right or it's wrong, and she'll need to know the answer. Okay, so she's a very strong, brave woman, and she inspires me to stick by my guns, to make my decisions with full facts, and do it so it's in the best interest of the company. She keeps my integrity intact too. She is just a humongous support for me, and I mean that in terms of the way that she sees me. So as I sort of lead the team, it's very easy for me to become, the enemy. And anybody that feels this in terms of running their own ship, there is a segregation between you and everybody else, and you've got to be the one that doesn't get to do, the most fun jobs, as it were, when you're running a company. You've got to deal with it. You've got to deal with the shit, and you've got to make the decisions. And sometimes people can find that hard to understand, why things have to be done a certain way or why decisions have to be made. And, you can be looked upon unfavorably, and then that's fine. And 9 times out of 10, these are moments. But for Cath, that sort of misses her when it comes to me. So she sees me for who I am, and sees actually the amount of effort that goes into what I do here. She sees all of my unseen work, and there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that nobody has any idea about. And she's party to that. Like, she's doing an unseen role as well. And people just turn up, the wages get paid, the bills get paid, the customers get their invoices, the systems are all running, like all that stuff's just done. But people are actually doing that job. And I don't know if many realise that on a day-to-day basis, but that's who they are, that's what they do. So I'm party of that as well in the HQ office with Cath and Ailsa. These are the type of jobs that we do. And when it comes to like the relationship between Cath and I, it is the part where she's got complete belief in me. She knows that I can do it. And to feel that from somebody that also has to work for me is quite special. Like, I know that she's got my back. I know that she doesn't judge me when I find things hard. There's been times where it's become so emotional when we're such a close-knit team and stuff like that, when we've had to do things like, well, the most recent one would be the reduced hours that we had to do at the start of the year. And that broke me. And I was so hepped up in how I felt like I was letting everybody down. Not just like the team, but also my dad and Grant, because I'd created this vision that I really wanted for the company. And we had this like gap. I think it was like 8 weeks. It was only 8 weeks, but it was such like a scary time, where I knew like there was a gap between where we were at that precise moment and where we were just about to be, but could we make it, or were we going to run out of money, and where was I going to fuck it all up? And that was like such a painful existence at that time, the stress I felt at that moment in time. And the whole way through that, like, Cath held my hand, like she had my back. She knew whatever it was that had to be done, she would back me up on that. She's like, no, this has to be done. We've got to save this. We're going to make it work. You've got this. Just tell them, be honest with them. Let them know where they stand. And I did it knowing that, Cath had my back on it. And it was a real sort of like, I'm letting you in. Like, I feel like I'm maybe saying too much, but that's just one example of many times that Cath's had to do that for me. And she's just an extraordinary woman. And people don't even know. Folk don't even know. They just think Cath pays the wages, and you better stay on the right side of her. But she is just just extraordinary to me. Yeah. And I love her to pieces. She's such a happy soul when it comes to things that she cares about. And, well, I mean, you know that as well, because you've got your shared interest with Cath. Yeah,
one of the things that I love about Cath, and it's got nothing to do with work at all, it's I like walk into the office. Sometimes Cath's it's usually when Cath's by herself, actually, and they call it Kieran calls it the lion's den. And Cath is an absolute lion. We'll go into that, but walk into the office, I'm absolutely freezing. I'm hugging the flue off of the wood burner, which is really nice to do, by the way. And we start talking about life. And we just catch up on things that have been happening. And it's things like, it's a shared interest, the love of a sunrise or a sunset and watching the colours and how in awe we're both about it. And I'll sit and show her photos on my phone, and she tells me about the like sunsets or the moonrises that she's seen. Some days we'll talk about, I love talking about animals with Cath. Like, she tells me about different types of animals. She tells me all about their lives. That comes from her love of watching documentaries that she used to watch with her dad when she was younger, she told me. I love hearing about our dogs and her winning her championships with her beardies and how that comes about. It's so interesting, like all the details and the amount of work that needs to go into that for her dogs, and they're champions. They're amazing. And life stories, like Cath has had a fucking hard life.
Hard shift.
Aye. And you know, like she reminisces on the good times and the amazing times. She shares her sadness. I love that she can open up about that, because she didn't want people to feel like lonely in life. And like, I'm like, here, Cath, let's talk about this. Like, let's talk about everything. Let's just talk about life. And yeah, I deeply like appreciate Cath for that and those moments. Like, it's just really it's heartwarming. And I think she loves it too. I think she loves talking about this stuff.
She does. Like, she doesn't need to be here. Like, you know, Cath's set for life. She doesn't have to turn up. She chooses to be here. Like, and this is part of who she is. This is part of her personality, is belonging to this company, to be championing her company secretary role, and you know, being that internal support for us all. Like, she's so part of this. And I just love having her on our side. Yeah.
And you can tell as well, like, Cath will like shout your name for the rooftops, so like the whole of Perth can hear it. Every meeting that we have, Cath will pipe up at one point and she'll be like, and remember everything that Cara's doing for this company. I love it when she does that.
Yeah.
She's like, do not fucking forget. Aye, she is. She like, you say that she have your back, you feel that personally, but you can see it. Yeah. She's vocal about it, that she has your back as well. And she makes sure everybody hears that and sees that as well. And I fucking love that about her. Like, she is loyal to, like, I've never met anybody so loyal in my life to a company. And she openly talks about that as well. She's like, I am here. I am with Gillies and Mackay. We are going to fucking do this. Yeah. Like, she like, she's just open about it. Yeah. No shit.
Yep, no shit with Cath. Yeah. Absolutely no chance.
Yeah. And I think, like, the other thing about, like, you spoke about as well, about what people, you know, don't see in the roles. Like, there's Cath and Ailsa, and they have admin type roles and support type roles as well. And like you say, like, people don't see the amount of work that they do. And like, if we didn't have them, like, the whole company would go to shit. Like, there would be no company without admin people. Like, like, the audiences see it, customers don't see it, and the staff didn't see some of the stuff sometimes as well. And you think it takes an army to run a business, and admin is part of that. Yeah. And like, they have to make sure the communications between the different departments have to happen and they go smoothly, because the thing that happens at the end is, and something that Gillies Mackay does that no other company, as far as I'm aware in the industry, does, is you've got a delivery date and we meet that delivery date. Yeah. And it takes a huge amount of work and communication to make that happen. Yeah. And that is part of Cath's, a massive part of Cath's role, massive part of Ailsa's role as well.
Yeah, it's funny that the delivery date thing, because you get it from the customers and you say, right, so this is your delivery date, blah, 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 blah. And then gets near the time or whatever, and customers will be like, so just wondering when my shed's going to arrive. And we're like, no, we told you it's coming on that day. And they're like, oh, like the day that you said. And we're like, yeah, it has to. Like, we don't have any option. Yeah. Like, it must happen because we've planned everything for that date. Exactly. Like, that's their job. Just the whole organization behind it is phenomenal. And these are the roles that, before Gillies Mackay was the size that it is now, I did all of this, and I did it all right. Like, it wasn't perfect. I managed. But at the cost, there was a cost. You know, so when you spread yourself thin, like you can't be good at all the things that you're doing. That's just impossible. And so when these roles are established, you know, Cath's 10-year ago role established, and then coming into Ailsa's project lead role, which she's in now, like that had to happen. We couldn't grow. We couldn't do what we needed to do unless there was people dedicated to do these things. That's what was holding us back. And I think about that time and time again. Every time that we need to bring somebody else into this growing environment, there's a reason for it. It's purposeful. Like people can be confused about why you need so many people in an office. Well, I'll tell you why. Because if we didn't have that amount of people in the office, then there wouldn't be any work anywhere else. That's why these people have to be here, because they make sure that this can happen. And I just think like I am protective of it. I really do feel protective of it, because a lot of my career before I was CEO of Gillies Mackay was completely unseen. Nobody had any idea the amount of shit it takes to run a business. Nobody, unless you're actually the person that's doing it. The concepts are wild. And I seen my stepmom doing it, and then I had to do it after her. And I just like that, the admiration and respect that I have for my stepmom, Granny Caroline, like for the way that she set this company up. And now to know, when I seen her in the car park the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm just heading home because I'm going to do the end of the month. And she knows exactly what I'm talking about, because there's no fucking danger I'm getting any peace and quiet to do any end of month in the office. I have to go home and do it, because that's the type of unseen work that gets done. The stuff that nobody understands how important it is. Why Cath locks the door when she's doing the wages. Shit like that. Like, where's the respect, eh? Unseen fucking work is what that is. It is. But yeah, so then, we're getting on to Ailsa now. Are we ready to talk about Ailsa?
Yeah, let's talk about Ailsa.
So when we come into Ailsa's job and what she's doing here, her time at Gillies Mackay started entirely differently. So there was a need for assistance in our sales and marketing for the admin of that. Yeah. Now, this was all about building the customer journey from start to finish. And what we mean is like from the buyer's journey in terms of like the education of content that they require in order to make the best buying decision for them, whether it be Gillies Mackay or not. We were going to be the people that were supplying this impartial information to let people make these decisions. But in order for that content to exist, it had to be organized. And our infrastructure wasn't there for it. So we needed somebody to help. And whether that was customers that hadn't bought from us yet, customers that would never buy from us, customers that were in the buying stages of us, customers that just got their building, and customers who had had their buildings for years. All of these people needed communicated to. And we didn't really have a system in place for that. So that's where Ailsa came in.
Yeah. So she started with smaller jobs to just introduce her to the admin work of what it is that we needed, and we were finding our feet at the same time. It's just like, what are all the wee jobs that we're actually needing done here,
especially in the order process, because that's the one that fucked us over time and time again. Now when you look at it today, it's a well-oiled machine. But back in the day, like one person taking the order, one person entirely responsible for collating all the information required for that order, and then also remembering to chase the customer up when they hadn't given us their colour. Yeah. Like, fuck that.
And right through to the aftercare as well. Like, you were looking after that customer right from when they first arrive at Gillies Mackay, right through to after they got their building. It was the whole thing. One person looking after this one person at all times. But as we were growing, like, there was a lot more communication channels that were needed to happen. There was more of us.
Nick, we went from having around about 25 current orders at any one time to 150 orders. Like that was the real challenge. That was the problem. Like, there was just absolutely no physical way possible. Like, it didn't matter, like, me and Kieran can recite the colour, the size, and the customer's postcode from 10 years ago on a specific building. That doesn't matter. Not in the day-to-day running of it. We needed a system, and we needed somebody to manage it.
Yeah. And so, like, Ailsa started taking on these things the admin roles in terms of what it is that we needed, and she started to create systems. We love a system, and shape them into her own thing. And then like that's when the communications really like leveled up within sales and marketing, because that meant that, like you say, the customers were getting everything that they needed, and we were getting that information back, and it started to run smoother. And when it comes to the end of the process, it's the customer that's getting the best experience from that. That's another part that people don't understand. It's not just admin that Ailsa was doing. She was contributing to the end experience for the customer by doing what she was doing. Keeps everything running and keeps everything moving quickly. And then, I mean, then what happened was we were making more sales, and then we shifted. We shifted from the summer houses to the radiator garden rooms.
In the 3 tiers.
And what we were, just before we even shifted to that, we started to see the bigger buildings we were selling more of required a lot. We were seeing them as projects. It wasn't just like a product that then it's sold as such. It was like there is a whole project going on here. But when you introduced the radiators in the 3 tiers, these were projects also, but
many little projects and projects upon projects.
And like it's at scale now. So that's when
that's when I was like, fuck this. I can't be doing all of this and running the fucking business. That was like, so in the olden days, there used to be an SOR board. SOR stands for, what does it stand for?
Special Order Requirements.
Boom. What, honestly, we are so clever.
I feel tested there.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So there was a big, massive whiteboard, and I used to write up the SORs in terms of what order needed what. So it could be anything from guttering to UPVC to electrics to AutoCAD drawings to being lined and insulated, anything. Opening window, just on a shed, randomly, a couple of shelves, just like, just so random. And that's how that's how it was always organised. And it was a collective effort by purchasers within the company. So originally it would have been Dad ordering the wood, be Grant organising the AutoCAD drawings, and then it would be myself and one other person organising the UPVC. So I do the full rigmarole of like getting it all ordered up, and it would be Grant or my dad would like check over the sizes and make sure that that's what they wanted for the building, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like steel, the box profile, for example, that's Callum's job. Like there's just so many different fragmented energies going into the one thing, and it wasn't organised. And ultimately the responsibility was on my shoulders regardless, because if any of it didn't get done or got fucked up or got forgotten about, then it's me that would have to fucking sort it out anyway. So when we shifted to in terms of our market and our products, then it was like, I'm going to really need a proper project lead for this. And by that is what I mean is not just ordering out all the SORs, it's organising everything that happens before and after a building too. So anything to do with groundworks, electrics, garage door fittings, anything that meant that the customer wasn't finished with us yet was going to need to be handled. And that's now where Ailsa sits. That's what she does now. And in that role, I do not have to worry about a thing. She honestly took to it like a duck to water, like so easy for her, like the transition from where she was at to where she needed to be, and how fast she learnt about the products and the materials that I was getting her to order. Like Ailsa, when she sat down, hadn't a fucking clue what the mesh meant, doesn't know what vapor barrier means, has no idea the specification of insulation. Like none of that was apparent to her. It wasn't in her vocabulary. It wasn't in her life. And then I'm just like, right, I need this X amount. You can square meter that. You can take that standard size from there. But if it's open and you need to reduce it by 150, Ailsa's just sitting there like, aye, all right, notes it all down, gets everything in her head, sorts it all out, and then asks the right questions. And I'm talking, I swear, it must have only been like 2 months. And I stopped checking. I just stopped. At the start, I was like, don't you worry, I've got your back. I'll just keep checking you. I'll keep checking you. And I'll spot out for anything that goes wrong before it becomes a problem type of thing. And I swear it must have only been about 2 months. And I was like, this girl's got it. I don't need to be involved in this. And it's funny, like even just today, like we took a break earlier, I went down to the Peace Hut and there she is out in the yard counting her stacks of insulation. Just quite the thing. This is her domain. This is her, where she is. This is what she does. And she just, just to have that confidence in someone that's so integral to whether or not a building's going to be able to be done in time. That's how severe it is. Like if that UPVC doesn't arrive on time, or if the materials aren't here, like that shit's not happening. And these are big fucking projects, so Ailsa's got a lot of responsibility on her and she handles it like a fucking swan. Yeah.
It made complete sense for you to shift Ailsa from the role that she was in and take the same skill set, because I think at one point we were like, do we hire someone for this role? It was kind of like we were floating on the idea for maybe I felt like a few months at the time.
But the system that you and Ailsa and Ali at that point as well had now devised in terms of what Ailsa started out to do, like you guys had got it to a place where it was like clicking buttons. So like it was like, where does Ailsa go next? And I was like, where'd she go next? Get her fucking right here.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah. Like, and the other thing that I love about Ailsa as well is like, I love speaking to Ailsa. It's the same with Cath. It's not work related. It's like we talk about life. And Ailsa's got two sons. One of them's really young, and one of them's in their teenage years right now. And it's joyful in some ways, and there's challenges in other ways.
Hard work.
We're kids, and we and I've got my daughters as well, and we talk back and forward about motherhood and like what the challenges that we're going through, or the fucking great memories that you have with your kids as well. That's what I love speaking to Ailsa about, because like it's someone who understands you, who hears you out in that moment in terms of who you are as a mother. And then you both nod to each other and go, well, let's fucking get on with it then, kind of situation. And the other thing that I'd admire about Ailsa as well is she is managing all of this whilst she's with her kids as well. Like Ailsa's working at all different hours. Like she's in on a Tuesday, but see outside of the Tuesday, like she's like, you'll see her on a Thursday night at like 8:00 at night doing things, and then you see her a wee bit at the weekend. Like she's completely flexible. That's what I love about Gillies Mackay, is for mothers specifically. We are allowed that flexibility to be able to work around our kids. That's important. And Ailsa has completely embraced that, and she manages it so well.
That's born. This company was born on the basis of Dad and Grant being able to provide for their families first. That was it. They didn't want to work for anybody else, but they both wanted families. And well, at that point, Dad had a family, and the purpose was that, this business needs to serve us and our families. That was the whole premise of it. So it's something that I will always hold dear to and make sure that there's time allowed for it. And I think like when we talk about us as mums, like, there is an undercurrent here of me understanding the pressures that you guys will always face, and how in comparison to people that aren't mums, that there is an unfair disadvantage there. Like you will always have to push a little bit further, a little bit harder, and turn up when you are not wanting to, and expel energy in a workplace scenario that will deplete you when you get home. And I know that sacrifice. I know what that feels like. I know that you cannot predict. Well, me and you, in terms of being customer facing now, it's not so severe. But there was a time when things were really fucking hard, and we were having to deal with a lot of customer aftercare where there was no patience and there was no understanding. And this was a fallout of COVID, I believe, where everybody was fucking raging. Like the whole world was just so angry, and we were just getting the brunt of it, left, right and centre. Like there was no compassion, there was no empathy, nobody gave a shit. They were like, you either get out here in the next 24 hours or you're getting slated on social media. And I'm like, I have no staff. I can get somebody to you in the next 3 days. Not good enough. Try harder. And these people are just fucking on you constantly. That was me and you. We were dealing with that, getting battered to fuck by folk, and then having to go home and be a mum.
Yeah.
And put the tea on the table and have patience for children. And we weren't able to. We were snapping, we were upset, we were angry, we were emotional, we were fucking knackered. We'd worked all the way through COVID. Nobody else did. And it was such a shit time. And I just thought, like, you hold the mirror up to me quite a lot. And you know you do. And it's so important that I see that, because I have to be able to value us in order for me to make the place better for you guys. And with Ailsa, in terms of where she's at and her parenting, like Lennox is still wee, it's so important to recognise that her support unit is just pretty much her most of the time.
Yeah.
So she needs that flexibility. But I also trust Ailsa as well to not over deliver as well. I only let her do this because I can trust her to stick by her hours and not stretch herself or be doing work when she shouldn't be doing work. And I know that she can create the balance because that's all she's ever known. Whereas for you and me, it was like, we turn up at work, we do our work, we go home, we do our mum stuff. We turn up at work, we do our work, we go home. Oh, I've not finished that. I need to get that done. Yeah. I'll do a bit extra work there. I'll finish it at home. Mess. Creep. Everything's just getting heavier and heavier and heavier. Like, so we can't be trusted. We had to relearn. But Ailsa, she had it from the start.
Yeah.
And she knew how to hold on to flexibility and work her balance. And that's what she does. She balances. And I think that's a measurement of her personality as well. She's really balanced anyway.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the future of Ailsa in terms of the project lead department as well. So there's still elements that are out with. So steel and procurement of timber. Procurement of timber is a massive deal. Like we spend, I don't know, in excess of like between 60 and 80,000 pounds a month on timber. So those purchases have to be pretty fucking bang on. So that's typically left to the woodcutter department. So that's Gordon and Bob at the moment, right? But I do see a future where that's actually in Ailsa's domain. And I do believe that when Ailsa gets a hold of it, she will do it fucking better.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, she will. And then it will expand. She will need an assistant. And this is where the real cleverness comes in when it comes to money. If I've got Ailsa in procurement and I've got Cath in bookkeeping, like these two women are what keeps this place afloat. Yeah. They watch my pennies for me. I have to do a month at the end of the month, but everything that's gone in between that, I have to trust them that they've done their job right. So I'm not skint by the end of it.
Yeah.
And that's where we get to. And I just feel like the powerhouse of that is such a big deal. Like, I think there's a lot more, as you would think, typically impressive jobs within the company. But when it comes down to it, cash is king, bitch. You know, and these girls, they've got it. These women have got this.
I'm like, ooh, because like I didn't even realise, like in terms of Cath and Ailsa's role, in terms of the financial freedom that their roles could create. Like, because I think about like the admin, the paperwork, the things moving, but the financials, like, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And that's huge. That's huge for Cath and Ailsa. It's huge for the company as well. There isn't any two better people that can handle that than Cath and Ailsa.
Yeah.
Like without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like smart as fuck.
Yeah. It's the magic's in the detail, bitch. Yeah. That's what I think. I think they just do such a much better job than I would have ever done. I am good at finance. I'm not self-depreciating to that degree. Like, I am actually really shit hot with money. I am good with it. The problem is that my attention is constantly taken up by so many other things. So for me to get to an end of month and know that these two women have got my back and they've done what they needed to do, I turn up and I go, reconciliation done, purchases done, invoices paid, boom, 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 boom. Everything's in order, everything's neat and tidy, and it's all because of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think Gillies Mackay would look like without Ailsa and Cath? Like, paint the picture.
I'd probably be dead. Yeah.
Yep, that's...
Pretty much. I think about back to like when doing all of this shit myself, like all that exists in those scenarios is just me working constantly. Like, that's me just sitting at my kitchen table for hours on end, trying to get shit done and doing it badly and getting it to a point where like that's just enough to get by. And then I'm chasing my tail and then I'm constantly worrying about things that have been missed or something that I've forgotten. And then it's just this nagging stressor that's within me all the time. Like, that's literally how I felt for quite a long time. And if Ailsa, if this hadn't worked, if I hadn't introduced Ailsa and Cath into bookkeeping and procurement and project leads, like that's where I would be. I'd still be doing that shit. And I mean, I'd be doubtful if, you know, like we would be anywhere near where we are today. Like, this is like, I can't, like, I don't know how more clearer to make it as to how important this is to me. Like, this is my HQ, this is headquarters, and these are the roles that need to work well in order for us to grow. And if I don't have these people supporting me, I will either be dead or the company will be done. It's simple as that. I can't do this by myself. I need this help. And Cath and Ailsa, they're my women. They've got my back. They know the crack.
That's a good way to end it.
That's it. Well, shit, I didn't even mean that. Fucking hell. The poetry just flows out of me.
Cath and Ailsa, absolute legends.
They are. So grateful to them.
Yeah.
Strong women.
Cath and Ailsa, what would we do without them? The heartbeat of Gillies Mackay. And that's what NattyShedLife is all about. If you liked this episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you've got any comments or suggestions of things that you want to hear about Gillies Mackay in the future, we'll be planning season 2 soon, so we'd love to hear from you. So you can email us at hello@nattyshedlife.com. And we'll see you next week.
I can't actually breathe in this dress, turns out. I'm being suffocated by my own breasts.
Brutal.
Yeah, so if it's all the same to you guys, I might just change out of this one.
Aye, we'll just crack on with the things.
Sit in discomfort.
Yeah, sit in.
Have to.
About to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Right, I must remember and bring other frocks next time.